Hey guys, YG Omega here, and here is my Crusadia deck profile for January 2021. Of course, we haven't been having any official events recently, but if we were, then this is what I would be playing. So, for those who don't know anything about the Crusadia archetype, they are a go second, blind second OTK strategy, and the main idea is to kill your opponent in a single attack. That's all they need. So, first up are of course the Crusadias, 3 Maximus, 3 Draco, 3 Arborea, 3 Reclusia, and 3 Leonis. So, for those who don't know what they do, every Crusadia monster can be special summoned from the hand to a zone one of your link monsters point to, and that is a hard once per turn for name, and then they all have a secondary effect. Maximus makes a Crusadia link deal double battle damage. Leonis makes it do piercing battle damage, so these two are sort of your main OTK enablers. Draco is your main combo piece. When you summon him to a link zone, he adds a Crusadia from graveyard back to hand. Arborea banishes herself from the graveyard to prevent the destruction of a Crusadia monster, which just kind of helps insulate your plays. And Reclusia can, on summon, blow up another Crusadia card and a card your opponent controls, which doesn't come off too often, but can be useful for baiting out negates or getting something troublesome off the field. Next up, we have 1 World Legacy World Crown, which is the World Legacy for the Crusadia archetype, of course, as part of the World Legacy storyline. It does the same thing as Crusadia's, special summoning itself from the hand to a zone link monster points to, but it also has a neat effect where it can tribute itself to negate the activation of a monster summoned from the extra deck. So if your opponent has Borrowed Savage Dragon or something else like that, you can summon this and to just try and make sure you get your Link's effects off. Only played at 1 because it isn't actually called a Crusadia, which you can't add it back with Draco. It can't go into Magius by itself, so it's not great to draw by itself. Then we have 4 Mud Skipper, 2 copies. 4 Mud is really good. The deck generally really rather struggles with going first because it can't really set up any sort of negation in archetype. But 4 Mud Skipper lets you copy the name of a link in your extra deck, and when it's used for a link summon, it searches a level 5 or higher Cyburst. So that gets us into our Parallel Exceed package, which I'll show in a minute. Of course, only playing 2, just because, once again, same as World Crown, it's not a Crusadia in the graveyard, which can kind of screw up certain combos, especially with Draco. Draco is definitely one of the most important Crusadias. Anyway, and then there is 3 copies of Parallel Exceed, as I mentioned, which is what you're going to be searching with 4 Mud Skipper. The ability to just go into rank 4s, going first and second, really helps with this deck. Going first, it can help you set up some interruptions, hopefully, and going second, it prevents you from getting Nibiru'd, and I'll explain how later for those who do not know. Next up, we have the Kaijus. So, the main gimmick with the Crusadia Link monsters is that they gain attack equal to the original attack of every monster they point to. And their boss monster, Crusadia Equimax, points upwards. So, the idea is pretty simple. You Kaiju something that's troubling you, once again, Borrowed Savage, something else like that, and you put it in the left mid or right mid zone so your Equimax can point to it. and gain a whole bunch of attack. That is the reason why we're only playing high attack kaijus. Do not play Gamma Seal, obviously, because you will not get as much attack. Then comes the hand traps, a very standard suite. 3 Nibiru, 3 Ash Blossom, 3 Veiler. Nothing really else to say there. Then we have the only card I'm proxying right now. I just haven't got my hands on an artifact Scythe yet. And yes, I am main decking Scythe specifically for the rank 4 package with Parallel Exceed I'm using. Just if you're playing against another going second deck and they make you go first, I just really want to have something that you can do game 1 without having to side in. Next up, we have 3 Crusadia Power. Really crazy spell. It's a quick play that makes a Crusadia monster unaffected by all card effects except its own. So the applications are obvious. You either use it on your opponent's turn to protect your Equimax, just maintain your board presence, or, and the main reason why we're playing it at 3, is you do want to see it in your opening hand, because of course you can use it on Magius, which is your main play starter, to just make sure it doesn't get ashed or veilered or impermed, anything. Also, with the Crusadia spells, we have 1 copy of Crusadia Testament, which has 2 effects. The first effect is that it prevents your Crusadia's effects from being responded to, which sounds pretty crazy, although I haven't really heard of it seeing... Most profiles I've seen either play at a 1 or none, so yeah, there's obviously other ways your opponent can sneak around that, but its main purpose is its second effect. If you destroy a opponent's monster by battle, you get to draw cards equal to its link rating. So, literally, with the Link 3 boss monster, Equimax, it's Pot of Greed on crack. It is... If you can resolve it, it's just ridiculous. Next up is Revival. Revival boosts all Crusadia links by 500, which, yes, is very relevant, and can also make a Crusadia link you control be able to attack all of your opponent's monsters, which, I mean, if you can't kill them in one attack, I mean, you have all the ones you need with Revival. Then we're playing 1 copy of Interrupted Kaiju Slumber. I mean, it baits, negates. I mean, if they don't respond to it, they're going to lose their whole field, so they kind of have to. And if they do, if you survive until next turn, you can always banish it, get a Kaiju, get rid of something troublesome. Win-win. And the last card we're playing is 1 copy of Treacherous Trap Hole. You probably don't know what this does, so I'll just read it. If you have no trap cards in your graveyard, target 2 monsters on the field, destroy those targets. It may seem completely out of place to have this in here, and it is, but I have a good reason, which I will explain when I talk about the extra deck. Okay, so probably up with our links is 3 copies of Crusadia Magius, which is probably the most important card with getting your play started. It's a link 1, so that uses any non-link Crusadia, so just normal summon anything, slap it down, and when a Crusadia is summoned to a zone it points to, you get to search a Crusadia from deck. It's just absolutely vital. Next up is 1 copy of Link Disciple, which just requires 1 level 4 or lower Cyburst monster. I would not play this normally, but if you're playing 4-Mud Skipper and it gets Veiled or Impermed, its name will stay as 4-Mud Skipper, so you just need a way to get it off the field. And that will also, of course, trigger its secondary effect, so yeah, just anything to get a 4-Mud off the field that has been negated. Next up, we have 3 copies of Artifact Crusadia Regulex. It does the same thing as Magius, except instead of searching a monster, it searches a spell or trap. So you see the main idea here. You're starting on your link 1, you're summoning, you're going up to your link 2, you're searching again, then you go up to your link 3, etc, etc. So of course, being able to search the power, which can stop hand traps, is very useful. If you're going second, it searches Testament or Revival, whichever one you think is more important. Once again, very important. And then we're playing only 2 copies of Crusadia Equimax, just because if you need to go into the 3rd Equimax with Crusadia, you've probably lost the game anyway. Equimax, like the other Crusadia links, it gains attack equal to the attack of everything it points to, and it can tribute Crusadia or World Legacy monsters it points to target a card your opponent controls and negate its effects until the end phase. So this is the only thing the deck can set up in Archetype going first as negation, which is, it's not terrible. Rather you didn't have to tribute, of course, but it's not bad. This is, of course, what you're going to try to be going into every single game. Just slap something to its left, right, Kaiju in front, Maximus, make it deal double damage, wham, your opponent's dead. Next up is 1 copy of Borrelode Dragon. This, you're always trying to just get rid of your opponent instantly with Crusadia links, so you won't be going into this too often, but if you go against Crusadia Avramax, which I'm not playing in this just because I don't have it. If I did have a copy, I probably would be. This, of course, does out Avramax with its stealing effect. And the last link we have is Artifact Dagda. So you should see where this is going now. We are also playing Tornado Dragon. So the idea is, going first, you'll want to be, instead of going into Regulex, you'll be going into Dagda, triggering its effect, and then with the Parallel Exceed, you either drew or searched off of Format Skipper, special summon it, another from deck, go into Tornado Dragon, and then during your opponent's draw phase, pop the Scythe, lock them out of the extra deck for the whole turn. Not fun for your opponent, definitely not, but yeah, this deck's got absolutely nothing else going for it going first, so it kind of has to play dirty. Next up are Abyss Dweller and number 41 Baguska. These are just other options going first if your opponent is playing something that is very vulnerable, like it's completely graveyard-based Abyss Dweller, or something that's very normal summon effect heavy, like Baguska would probably be good against Invoked, Dogmatica, something like that. Prevents the Ecclesia, prevents the Alistair, anything like that. Just more situational picks. And for our last card, we are playing 1 copy of Trix Rafflesia. So this is where that copy of Treacherous Trap Hole comes in. So with the specific combo you have with Parallel Exceed, you can make Trix Rafflesia on your 5th summon. And that may seem, I already said earlier, it prevents Nibiru, it prevents other hand traps. And you may be wondering why that is so. And the answer is, we're bluffing. The idea is, what you're supposed to do is use Gravedigger's Trap Hole, which negates the effect of a monster in hand. So when you go on Rafflesia for your 5th summon, if they Nibiru you, you just use Rafflesia, send Gravedigger's Trap Hole, negate the Nibiru. But Gravedigger's Trap Hole, quite expensive. Maybe not if you're playing competitively, but if you're playing budget, like £15-20 for 1 card, you probably don't want to do that. So instead, it's a little mind game here. You summon Rafflesia, and you just hope your opponent knows the Rafflesia Gravedigger's Trap Hole combo. If they do, they will not Nibiru you, because there's no point. They just lose it anyway. So, even though we don't have the Gravedigger's Trap Hole in the deck, we don't need it. We just hope the opponent is knowledgeable enough and just decides not to Nibiru us. I haven't tried this out yet, but if it works, it would be absolutely hilarious. But of course, not just playing Traptrix Rafflesia for no reason. As I said, the deck struggles to set up interruptions going first, so Rafflesia is this double-sided tool here. Use it going first, or going second, really. You know what, going first or second. Just summon it to prevent your opponent from hand-trapping you because they think you have the Gravedigger's Trap Hole when you don't. And if you're using it going first, you can use Treacherous Trap Hole as an interruption to pop 2 monsters, which they will almost definitely not be expecting. So that should hopefully really throw them off. And with that, that is the whole deck profile. I've got some nice spicy text in here that I haven't really seen any other people use. Remember to like the video and subscribe if you want to see more deck profiles, more pack openings, whatever. See you guys.